Lagos Traffic Radio 96.1 FM. Anytime you hear this tune, of course, it's time for us to switch gears and talk all things transportation, especially those that are very trending and those that are trendy in the world of transport right here in the Center of Excellence, which is the first amongst equals. You're welcome to Lagos Transport Trends and Perspectives. It comes to you every Tuesdays from 9:15 through 10 o'clock, and it is an initiative of the Ministry of Transportation, all geared towards helping you to understand the way transportation works in the Center of Excellence. You're welcome. Victor Oteri is my name. It was Henry Ford that said, coming together is the beginning, keeping together is progress, and working together is success. Words of Henry Ford, which echoes through the land of Lagos, especially as relates to your movement from one location to the other. What the government is trying to do is to ensure that with ideas that are very innovative in nature, we can all come together to actualize the goals of prosperity. And that is what the Ministry of Transportation is articulating through the transport policy of Lagos, which is aimed at a multimodal transport sector, which will be very, very affordable, accessible, and of course, very, very reliable as well. All right, then on the program today, we're going to be doing an overview of what transportation has been like in the year 2024, as well as projecting into 2025. What are the prospects, or perhaps what are the landmarks that we've experienced this year in Lagos? What were the challenges, and what would the year 2025 look like? The person who has the answers very much here in the building, he'll be taking us through that in a short while. Quickly, let's get back to the roads to let you know what's going on right now. Those of you making that journey through the island, the Third Milan Bridge is still very, very accessible, so you can navigate through that particular route as a connecting point to the island at this time. Also, Ikorodu Road, it's not bad at all, so it's faring pretty well, even though we had an issue earlier on at the inner part of Ikorodu, Agric to be precise, in what's Antikeni. There was an accident there, but that has been taken off, and those who were injured in that accident have been taken to the nearby hospital. So driving in from Agric, proceeding towards areas like Mile 12 down to Ojota is looking pretty fine, and the stretch of 7 kilometers between Ojota to Fadi looking very good as well. We can tell you Co-Bridge connecting Akpongbon and of course the island is also looking good too. Lagos Abeokuta Expressway still looking pretty fine at this time. Even the very challenging Ile-Zik to National, which is usually a point of concern, is still looking good at this time as well. We'll be serving you more helpings as they come in from time to time. All right, so the year 2024 comes with a whole lot of landmarks, but what are the ways that we can describe the year transport-wise? What do you think were the things that stood out for you? We'd like to hear your comments during the course of the program. But first off, there was something that we cannot ignore, and it occurred on the 29th of February, the year 2024.
Mr. President, we mark an historic milestone in the annals of Lagos and indeed in our nation with the commissioning of the Lagos Rail Mass Transit, the Red Line, a 37-kilometer of modern engineering that stretches from Agbado, again in Ogun State, all the way to Oyingbo, and in the phase 2 will connect to National Arts Theatre. The segment we're inaugurating today spans 27 kilometers from Agbado through Iju, Agege, Ikeja, where we are, Oshodi, Mushin, Yaba, and Oyingbo. We started construction mid-2020, and I'm happy that all of these stations and all the infrastructure are ready, completed for the populace to use.
Today is an evidence that it's good to dream, and it's a serious validation of democracy by the people, for the people. When you put people are the central focus of your vision and planning, you will realize the value of democracy. Today, I'm seriously honored that I am a Lagosian, happy, and the first to be president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria from this day.
Something is changing. I can see it's easy.
All right, so Greater Lagos rising with the launch of the Red Line that was 10 months ago. But of course, that's not the only thing that happened in Lagos. So this morning, like I said, we're navigating transportation in Lagos, 2024 recap and 2025 outlook. And who else is better suited to take us through this conversation other than the number one person in the Ministry of Transportation in Lagos? I'm talking about Honourable Oluwaseun Osiyemi, the Commissioner for Transportation in Lagos State. Nice to have you in the building, Commissioner. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, Victor, and good morning, everyone.
Right. All right. So you heard there some snippets of at least that historic event that took place in Lagos back in February. I know that's not the only thing that happened, but in your words, Honourable Commissioner, how would you describe 2024 transport-wise?
Thank you, Victor, once again. 2024, transportation-wise, I would say was quite interesting. It was one whereby a lot of infrastructure and a lot of things were put in place. And it also kickstarted events that would, of course, dovetail into the coming years.
And what were the major transportation projects and even initiatives that were implemented by the Lagos State in 2024?
Oh, thank you. Victor, the very first place to start is, after listening to Mr. President's voice and Mr. Governor's voice, is obviously the Red Line. Of course, in the rail sector, the commissioning of the phase 1 of the 27-kilometer Red Line from Agbado to Igbo was commissioned.
Okay.
For that commissioning as well, we had to put some infrastructures in place.
Right. Let's talk about those infrastructure. Like what were the infrastructure?
Like overpasses.
Okay.
5 overpasses were also commissioned to prevent interactions between vehicular movement and the rail movement. This is essentially for safety and free flow of traffic. And also, of course, it's going to obviously increase the value and the optics of the environment where those overpasses were made.
Okay.
Also, in 2024, there was the acquisition of additional rolling stocks, 3 each for Blue Line and Red Line. The importance of having to buy these rolling stock is to be able to increase the frequency of rides and to be able to carry more people. The more train services we have, the better for us, and the more people will be able to service.
Right.
And then we also, in the rail space, signed 2 MOUs for 2 additional rails to commence. The Green Line, which will start from Marina all the way to Lekki Free Trade Zone, and also the Purple Line that will start from Volkswagen all the way to Mowe.
Beautiful. All right, so still dwelling on the rail project, because I know part of the strategic transport master plan, which the Lagos State government is working on, we have about 6 rail lines that are embedded in it. Now, this Red Line, commissioned on the 29th of February, took such a long time before full operational work could commence, Honourable Commissioner. I'm sure that Lagosians might be wondering what really happened within that February 29th up till was that June, July, or perhaps August before operations started?
Okay, thank you, Victor, once again. Rail is very peculiar, and it's one that you have to ensure that all the I's are dotted and all the T's are crossed. The Blue Line, for example, has a dedicated line that is our own and is electric. The Red Line has its own peculiarity. The peculiarity being that we are co-sharing the track with NRC. And for that to happen, it means there must be a lot of collaboration, signalization to ensure safety on those tracks. And beyond that, you will also know that a track that is not ours, we also need to put 1 or 2 things in place. And then for a rail to start, there are things that we must put in place. The number of hours we must have run. There must have been a lot of some tests run here and there. So all of those things were putting in place before passenger commencement.
All right, then. So a lot has been said about the Rail Mass Transit project, which Governor Sanwo-Olu is visibly working on. What other projects really made the marks in 2024, apart from the rail corridors?
Well, I think I'll start from the policy framework.
Okay.
So in 2024, the Lagos State Transport Policy document was of course launched, and then which speaks to different aspects of transportation, and there are 14 critical elements that this policy speaks to. It's all encompassing, I must say. Beyond that, of course, there were constant upgrade and building of road infrastructure and road furnitures. We had to do a lot of that to ensure that we manage our traffic management in such a way that it would help our citizens. And for that to happen, a lot of things were put in place. For example, there are 62 junction improvements marked to tackle gridlocks, out of which we've done about, I'll say, 38 and still ongoing. So this 2024, we're able to commence, of course, the Okpebi Toyin Allen junction improvement project.
Okay.
And a couple of other road infrastructure, from lane markings to signalization, traffic lights. We also, of course, the 51 kilometer QBCs, QBCs are quality bus corridors.
Right.
Yeah. Was started, and this includes the construction of 4 depots, 15 terminals, and 166 bus stops, along those corridors. So there's a lot that has actually, of course, happened during that. That's in the space of infrastructure.
Right.
There were also reforms and initiatives that we started, which, of course, from the BRI to the e-call-up and all of what you want to imagine. That's just also in that space. Then we can also move to the water space.
Okay.
In the water space, Victor, I'm sure remember the commissioning of the omnibus.
That's right.
Yeah, 15, which, of course, was commissioned by Mr. Governor. That essentially is to ensure that we encourage people on our waterways, because the more people we can get on our waterways, the better for us in Lagos, because what that does is it directly affects congestion on the road.
That's right.
So
it has a direct impact on reducing congestions on the roads and taking more people on the waterways.
Absolutely.
Which is very, very beautiful. All right, I still got to return you to that Okpebi to Odoyala Road, that bridge that is being constructed right now. I know you've taken several trips to that particular project. Where are we with it right now? Is it almost completed, or how far are we gone with it?
Yes, it's almost completed. I can tell you for free that that project should be done on or before the middle of the year.
Of the year 2025.
Yeah,
so these are
second quarter.
All right. So these are things that Lagosians should be expecting.
Yes, please.
All right. Honourable Commissioner, let's reflect a bit on the impact of all of this. You've mentioned a whole lot of projects which Governor Sanwo-Olu is working on and which you are championing as the implementing commissioner. How did these projects, how did they impact on the daily commute and, of course, the overall transport experience of Lagosians? I just needed to speak to that for 1 minute.
Well, Victor, I'm sure you would agree with me that without an intentional plan, especially in Lagos, there'll be chaos. What do I mean? Lagos is a state that constantly draws and attracts people to the state because of course, development, business, and all of what you can think of. As we speak, we have over 22 million people in Lagos. And for you to move goods and services effectively, there must be an intentional approach in dealing with transportation, which, of course, is the reason why we have our intermodal transportation mode. Right. Of course, which, of course, speaks to the land, the rail, the water, and also the airport, the air at some point. This is essential because you must create options for transportation. You must also create options for people to be able to move from point A to B. And not just creating options, you must also ensure that there's connectivity, because in transportation, connectivity is one thing that we must not overlook. So all of this infrastructure that Mr. Governor has been putting in place is to speak to the intermodality of transportation in Lagos State.
Lagos Traffic Radio 96.1 FM. This morning, we're navigating transportation in Lagos, 2024 recap and 2025 outlook. And my guest is the Honourable Commissioner for Transportation in Lagos, Honourable Oluwaseun Osiyemi. All right, we'll be taking your comments and, of course, be hearing from you very, very shortly as well. And if there are areas of concern too that you would like the Commissioner to respond to, you might also want to bring that on board. But before then, Honourable Commissioner, what were some of the challenges? I'm just looking through now. What are some of the challenges that were faced by commuters and even the transportation stakeholders in Lagos in 2024? Are there some that will come to you just off the cuff right now?
Well, I would say one of the major one was the construction that we embarked on during the year. That, of course, had a direct effect on traffic management. We had to do a lot of work in that space. If you remember, it was same 2024 that the Third Mainland Bridge was built.
That's right.
You know, that at that period, though a federal government project, but of course, because it's Lagos, we had to do the traffic management part of it. That was not an easy time at all. Also, all of the many roads that Mr. Governor has done over 36 roads, which of course you've been seeing commissioning, that also had effect on the traffic as regards movement, because construction without proper traffic management would obviously lead to congestion.
That's right.
You know, but of course, because we also know the importance of putting those infrastructure in place. Once you have good infrastructure, what that helps is it helps the free flow of traffic. So there must be some kind of sacrifice we would give at some point. So I mean, there were a bit of glitches here and there because of all of the construction and infrastructural work we were doing. But I'm sure they were well managed. Which is
very, very beautiful. All right, then. So let's talk about the connecting dots now, because either you like it or not, Lagos is very, very cosmopolitan in nature. And we have it divided into divisions. There's the Ibile, as we look at it. In terms of direct impact on the people, what is the design? Is it to say that at every division, every point in time, the government thinks of bringing up a transport project here that would affect the lives of the people? Or what's the design?
Well, like I mentioned, connectivity is very big in transportation, and also intermodality, the intermodal play for our transportation is also one that is very critical. I will speak firstly to one of the projects that we're doing presently, which is our interchanges.
Okay.
For the interchanges, right now we have two ongoing, one in Mile 2 and one in Marina. At those interchanges, we have where all of the three transportation modes actually aggregate where they meet. So we have the land, we have the water, and we have the train. What that does is that it gives options to people. You can either use the train or the bus or the water, or you can get off from the bus and get on the train to continue your journey. So for that, we also have plans, of course, of replicating those interchanges as the year progresses.
Right.
One of the major things I would also like to mention is the fact that we've actually identified some particular bus corridors. Like I mentioned, 8 bus corridors have been identified, and work has commenced in those 8 bus corridors, which means that what are we going to be doing there? We're going to ensure that we improve, one, the road infrastructure, the bus shelters, the lay-bys. I mean, you need lay-bys to be able to get people to get off the road if they need to drop passengers. All of those improvements will be done. You know? So those were done based on data and proper analysis.
Right. So these bus corridors, like you called it, are they going to be spread across the different parts of the state?
Yes, they are.
All right. Lagos Traffic Radio 96.1 FM. A flash update coming in from our traffic managers. Incident report at the Central Business District in Idumota. And it says that, let me clear it wrong, this of the street of Dosumu at Lagos Island. I guess there's a breakdown there. Okay, it's actually a fire outbreak rather. And it's a 2-story building. raised by fire. Action taken so far, so good. We have the fire service contacted already, and they're on ground trying to manage the scene. All right. So, 2-story building on fire. That's around Dosomu Street on the Lagos Island. All right. That's a flash update coming in here from our traffic managers. All right, so like I did say, we'll be hearing from you. You can also join the conversation on this wonderful day. Also reflect on the overview of transportation in Lagos in the year 2024, and then we project into 2025. All right, for you as a Lagosian, what were your observations, and of course, what are the things that you saw in transport sector this year that you'd like to also share your thoughts with us? 08099 120777. Those are the numbers. 08099 120777. You can also try the second number, which is 091 09153 877127. 09153 877127. That's the numbers that you can connect with us. But let's take this brief break. We'll return. We'll hear from you. And of course, we'll also project into 2025.
I stand here very proud to say that the Lagos State Strategic Transport Master Plan that outlines what those integrated rail system stood for, which are 6 rail corridors, 1 monorail, 14 BRT corridors, and over 20 water routes on vast network of what is today the tiniest, smallest state in our country called Lagos State. We're indeed happy that that master plan is alive, is working, and all successive government, from my brother Babatunde Raji Fashola, to my other brother Akinwumi Ambode, and to our humble administration, have kept faith with it. For the first time in the history of Lagos, we have a system comprising and integrating 3 modes of transportation. The road, which is the BRT that we're using, the rail, which is the Rail Master Transit Program, and the waterways through the statewide ferry service. Every day, millions and millions of Lagosians cross this integrated urban transportation infrastructure.
All right, so the transport policy of Lagos is such that it is intermodal in nature, and it's building an integrated transport system which the government says is going to be reliable, affordable, and accessible. So let's hear from you. What do you think of 2024 transport-wise? 08099 120777, 09153 877127. These are the numbers that you can call. Some questions rolling in here for the commissioner. This one says, good morning, Traffic Radio. How does Lagos State... Okay, let's take this call. Hello there.
Good morning.
Yeah, good morning.
Yeah, this is Ayo calling from Ogba.
Hey, Ayo, how you doing?
Fine, sir.
It's nice to hear you on this last day of the year.
Thank you, sir.
Great.
Yeah, Honourable Commissioner. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, Ayo. Good morning. How are you doing this morning?
Yeah, fine. Please, I want to ask about the red rail that is making use of ESG. Because I must commend the president for the good initiative of the CNG. Because I'm using it and I can say it's very, very cheap compared to diesel or petrol.
Okay.
Now, why can't the red rail that is making use of diesel, why can't it make use of CNG? Because I had the federal government rail, something like that. I had something that some of them is making use of the CNG. So are you thinking towards that direction, or you have other alternatives? That's number one.
Okay.
Number two, the issue of the purple line. Now, isn't passing through Ogba? Because this purple line issue, the old track that is going to pass through they are very, very, in fact, that area is very, very populated in terms of building, and I'm seeing a lot of destruction that is going to go on there. Are you thinking about it? Are you considering it? Because I don't understand how is that going to work. Thank you.
All right.
And I must call you in 2024. You perform above average.
Okay.
Well done, sir.
All right, then. Thank you so much for your contribution. Ayo, asking some multi-pronged kind of questions. All right, Honourable Commissioner, quickly, let's see if we can tackle that before we have so many other questions that are really in here for you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Ayo. I must appreciate your scorecard first. We hope that come 2025, we'll be scoring 95%.
Right.
Quickly to your question. The first question had to do with the red line using CNG. Firstly, I would like to say that, yes, we've embraced renewable energy, and for you to know how important we do classify that, we started our blue line way before all of the news and noise about using
renewable energy.
Yeah, the blue line as we speak is electric. It's all electric.
Right.
That was possible because, of course, we do have the dedicated rail for that. For the red line, we, like I said earlier, we're co-sharing the track with NRC, and of course, the configuration initially is diesel.
Okay.
Over time, we would look at the possibility of CNG.
Or switching to CNG.
Yes.
Or perhaps maybe we can get electric as well.
Electric might be a bit challenging because the track is not solely ours.
Okay.
So if we convert to electric, it means that Nigerian Railway Corporation too would have to do the same.
Right.
And then electric is not just in that light.
That's right.
It involves a lot of things that we need to put in place. So that might be a big call.
Quickly, he's talking about the purple line as well. He's concerned that it might pass through Ogba, and in the process of constructing or perhaps putting in place the infrastructure, lots of places might have to go for it. Okay,
Victor, I'd like to reassure Lagosians that all of the lines we're talking about, like what the voice of Mr. Governor said earlier,
right,
they're in the strategic master plan.
Okay.
And there are things that they are projected into 2050.
That's right. So
all of the plans are already there. The right of way and all of what we need for those lines are already been taken care of.
All right.
So if today you need to build or construct a new property, you would have to go to physical planning to get approval, or in turn would come and ask for an approval that you are not actually on the right of way for the construction of those rails.
Right.
So it's something that's been marked out and is well protected by the state.
All right, let's see if we can take some more calls. Hello there, good morning.
Hello, good morning, Mr. Victor.
Yeah, good morning. Who am I speaking with?
My name is Andrew.
Andrew, how are you doing?
Fine, thank God.
All right.
Honourable Commissioner, good morning, sir.
Good morning, Mr. Andrew. I hope you are not checking out.
No, not really. Well, let us thank God. We all have gratitude for God and for mankind, fellow humans, for the work being done.
Right. Andrew, you need to speak up a bit. Your line is a bit muffled. Can you just speak up a bit where you are?
Yeah, I said we have to give gratitude to God.
Good.
And to our fellow mankind for the work being done, because Lagos State government is a perspective. I look at Lagos State as a perspective to the world, as well to black race. Let me use Mile 2 as my comparative analysis.
Okay.
I look at Mile 2 as a connection that connects everywhere.
Okay.
More than any other place in the whole country.
Right.
I stand to be corrected. First, it's a route to ECOWAS, international boundary. That's true, but I agree. And then Ikeja to the international airport and local airport, and Apapa to the seaports, the major seaports.
Right.
And then to the islands, to the commercial businessmen.
So obviously, Andrew, you must be enjoying that interchange that is being built at Mile 2.
Well, I foresaw that, but I didn't know it was coming. But it's good. Now, we need what we call an eye-opener there. As in, if these things are coming in place, how do we integrate the National Union in the work they do, Richard in the work they do, and NATO in the work they do? NATO, that has to do with the trailers and so on.
Right.
And the perspective, when we look at international things, we don't put all these things in place in a rugged way. We put it in a place that will see place the country, the state, or the people in a place of diversity.
Okay, so the question now, Andrew, quickly. So your question now is, how will the government tackle the unions in ensuring that they do not disturb the transport master plan of that?
Regulation, compliance.
All right.
And two, and other parts of Lagos too, especially Mushin, Axis, Orile Axis, Koka, Surulere, and then some part of my two.
Beautiful.
People extorting, let me use this word, extorting money from people in the name of, they are not passing here, they are supposed to pass here in the name of council. What is the government doing in respect of that?
Beautiful. All right.
I can give a voluntary, I can volunteer to do something for the state government in terms of that, if they want.
All right.
How to cope it. Thank you.
Thank you so much for that one. Andrew is concerned about the unions, and that is a recurrent question every time we have issues on transportation and its development in Lagos. Honourable Commissioner, what is your ministry doing on the activities regulating the unions effectively? Quickly.
Well, I think I would like to firstly address his question as regards unions' involvement in the interchange. I would like to reassure him that all of the necessary stakeholders in that perspective as regards the union were carried along, and they were well educated and informed of what the interchange would bring to that vicinity.
Right.
I must also say that a lot of collaboration was also done. There was a situation where we had to move them to some different location to ensure that it does not disturb what the government plan is. And I must say to you that they were quite cooperative. And they are in the know. It's important to ensure that all stakeholders are carried along, and which was efficiently done. He mentioned extortion in Mushin.
Yes.
It's not something that we're oblivious of. It's something that we're constantly working on. And it's unfortunate that the lot of those guys extorting are there without any approval. I would say we've arrested a couple.
All right.
And we're still arrested.
All right, let's take some more calls quickly. Hello there, good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Victor.
All right, good morning.
Good morning, Honourable Commissioner. This is Dr. Busari.
Nice to hear from you.
Dr. Busari, good morning, sir.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you so much, Honourable Commissioner. I really want to commend Lagos State.
Thank you, sir.
In terms of transportation, I have traveled around the country, and I can say, yes, things are better in Lagos.
Thank you, sir.
I can say that. So, my observation one, yes, the BRT, I know it was designed not to carry standing passengers. But you see passengers standing in the BRT. Lagos State is a state that is moving towards being a mega city. We need to do something like that, sir.
Okay.
Even some of these BRT buses, when you queue at designated bus stops, there was a time I was at what do you call it? See, this former, oh God,
CMS,
former National Assembly.
Okay, that's TBS.
Yeah, exactly. We had bought our tickets and we queued. And the next bus that was to come, we were looking at it. It kept us waiting for more than 40 minutes before it eventually came. Some of us had to leave the queue to go and take some of these commercial buses.
All right.
I think that is not good enough.
Okay.
Then secondly, on the safety of passengers, we believe we should do something about that. You see Danfo buses, all these buses flying the highways. They don't lock their doors. At least the safety of the passengers must be taken into account. Then we should go to the these parks where they are selling all this alcohol, you see some of them getting drunk, and some of these buses using expired tires. I think we should look at that.
All right, then.
Thank you
so much. Lots of contributions this morning. Well, Honourable Commissioner, I know lots have been said, and maybe in passing, you might just want to respond to some of them. But quickly, what are the things that we should be expecting in 2025, Honourable Commissioner?
So where do I start? Do you want me to address that question, or should you just talk about the 2025?
2025. Let's go to 2025 straight away.
Okay. I mean, I will go to 2025, but I would also want to tell Dr. Busari that all of the points he made have been noted, and that some of them are currently being addressed. Right. I just need to let him know that, so that it doesn't seem like we're just ignoring it.
That's right.
Now back to 2025. It's a year that we have great expectations and we have a lot to do. It's one that we have overlap of functions or overlap of projects that started from 2024 that would, of course, continue in 2025.
Right.
And then we also have interesting things coming up.
So you're going to be delivering some of them, right?
Yes.
Is your Kwebi one is going to be delivered in 2025?
Yes, that's the plan.
Okay.
We have for the firstly, I'll go back to the framework. We're going to start the implementation. We're going to continue on the implementation of the transport, so the Lagos State transport policy.
All right.
And then for the road infrastructure, there'll be, like I said to you, we'll still have a couple of junction improvements to work on. So we'll be redesigning and reconstructing
some of them.
Okay.
Because I'm particularly concerned about areas like Ikotun. In spite of the fact that
it's one of those listed.
Okay,
it's one of those listed.
That would have been something that I would have loved. But, lots of questions are popping here for you, Honourable Commissioner. I wish there was time. This one says, good morning, Victor and the HC. My question is, how exactly has the Blue Line project impacted commuting in Lagos so far? Thanks. Murphy sending that one in. This one says, good morning. Are there plans to introduce additional BRT routes in 2025? Soji is sending that one in. This one says, compliments of the season to Mr. Commissioner. Are there plans for additional rail lines beyond the blue and red lines? So many questions popping in, but of course, we do not have much time. But in parting, and of course, as we depart the program this morning, what's the positive message you'll be leaving for Lagosians as we hit 2025?
Well, I would like to tell Lagosians that we've started a very, very good journey, and we're reassuring that we're going to end it very well. We'd also be seeking for their collaboration in the space of in so many aspects in transportation. One of it is safety. I would want to use this opportunity to speak to our people on our behavioral patterns on the road. There's so much that government can do, but as a people, we also need to ensure to know that we have our own part to play in ensuring safety and on our roads. Not just for ourselves, but for also road users.
Right.
But I must also use this opportunity to say that we'll be commissioning the phase 1 of the Smart City ITS solution, which speaks to the e-police and the e-checking.
All right. I'm sure we'll have you back in the studios in the new year, and then you'll be able to talk so much more about all of this. Honourable Commissioner, it's nice having you in the building. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you, Victor, and I do wish you a very happy new year in advance.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
All right.
Thank you, Lagosians.
Wonderful.
God bless.
All right. We'll be speaking with Honourable Oluwaseun Osiyemi. Of course, he's the Honourable Commissioner for Transportation, and we'll be able to do a recap of 2024 and also do an outlook of what 2025 will be looking like. Mike James has produced the program this morning. Maximum thanks to Bolanle Ogunlola, who is the Director of Public Affairs for the ministry, and she's been working tirelessly behind the scene for this program to come on stream this wonderful morning. Maximum thanks as well to our social media team, Okpayemi Shodunke, and of course others there. Our executive producer is Taya Akonle. I leave you with the words of this great man that says human progress is neither automatic nor inevitable. Every step towards the goal of justice requires sacrifice, suffering, and struggle, the tireless exertions and passionate concerns of dedicated individuals. My name is Victor Oteri. Have a great day. Bye.
You can't deny a great Lagos is rising. I see it all around. Rising. You can't deny it.